Thanks for being with me and coming along with me on this journey of bi-weekly podcasts that I do. Or if you are watching on the YouTube video, welcome for the video. I am so excited to be here and share another topic with you. Today, we are going to be talking about cruising, but in a little bit different way, because we are going to be talking about the differences between ocean and river cruising. So I'm specifically going to highlight 10 differences, everything you wanted to know. And actually, that's a little bit of a misnomer because I don't think I could give you everything that you needed to know about ocean versus river cruising, but I really am going to dive in and give you some pretty specific differences and ideas for what to expect between river and ocean cruising. Most people know about ocean cruising. If you haven't been on an ocean cruise before, you pretty much know what it is, and you know whether that's something that you would want to do or not want to do. There are people that are super huge ocean cruisers and they love cruising on the oceans, and they specifically plan their next trip around different itineraries and different places that they want to see and things that they want to do and all those kinds of things. I'm sure all of us kind of have heard of or know people, or maybe we are those people that love planning ocean cruising that way. Well, not as many people know as much about river cruising. And there are a lot of, I think, misconceptions about river cruising. And so I figured today would be like a really good day to talk about the differences. And after going on ocean cruises, you may be wondering, is a river cruise like right for me? Would I like a river cruise as much as I like ocean cruising, or would I like it more, or those types of things? So hopefully this info today helps you decide if you would want to ever try a river cruise, because it's more of a minority that have done river cruises, or is ocean cruising your favorite? And this will just help kind of solidify that for you, that, yep, I'm really good with ocean cruising, or that's really where I want to start if you haven't cruised yet. So either way, I am totally happy to share this information with you. And we are going to jump into the 10 differences. Okay, first difference. This is the most obvious difference, is size. Oh yes, for sure. Ocean cruises typically accommodate like thousands of people, and ocean cruises are getting bigger and bigger. It's not uncommon to have a new ocean cruise ship announced and have them say the largest ship at sea and things like that. And so that is a really common thing. Obviously, ocean cruises are way huger than river cruisers. River cruises have a much smaller setting, many fewer passengers. Generally between 150 and 190. There are some that are a little bit over 200, but that is, way less, way more than 10 times less, because often ocean cruises have 3,000, 4,000 people anyway, lots of people. So ocean cruises are often competing to be the largest at sea, or even if they're not wanting to be the largest at sea, they may be competing for like the most amenities, the most activities, all of these great things. So that's kind of their focus, is with all the activities and the amenities, along with, the cruise experience. River cruises, basically the ships have to be a certain width in order to fit on the rivers, of course, but also what a lot of people don't think about is fitting through the locks. And with river cruises, they go through locks all the time, not like all the time, but very often. And the locks help adjust the water level. If you're going from, the water level that's been deeper to more shallow, the locks help concentrate the depth of the rivers. And the locks are a certain width. And of course, the river cruise ships have to fit within that width. So the size is not going to vary a ton with river cruises. Okay, but size is a big difference between the two, river versus ocean. All right, number 2, let's talk about destinations. Ocean cruises cover a vast range of destinations worldwide. And ocean cruises also sail year round, like all the time year round, because even if it's the middle of winter in one destination, for example, Alaska, you're not going to sail to Alaska in the middle of winter, but there is a tropical destination that you can sail to in the middle of winter, and it's going to be year round. River cruises focus on rivers and waterways in specific regions or countries. And so not all river cruises are in Europe. There are river cruises, like I've talked about before, in Asia. There are river cruises in South America. There are river cruises in Africa, river cruises on the Nile, like as well as America, the US, and also, of course, all over Europe. So it's more of it's just a different focus. Ocean cruises reach the cities on the edges of continents or countries, and river cruises reach the towns and cities within or inside the countries. So it's just a difference of geography. Okay, number 3, the views are different, of course. So river cruises offer stunning views of these landscapes and these picturesque villages, historical landmarks, castles, cathedrals, the cobblestone streets, like all of those amazing things are seen very often every day on a river cruise. Ocean cruises, on the other hand, provide vast open sea views and sunsets over the ocean. So, there is such a huge difference in the views. The boring views, so both cruise lines have a more boring type of view. For an ocean cruise, the ocean cruise boring view is sometimes just this endless expanse of water. Like it doesn't even have waves on it. It doesn't even have anything. It's just this open, endless ocean. And so that's the boring view on an ocean cruise. The boring view on a river cruise is when they're going through the locks, because usually the locks are just two sides of, I guess, cement or whatever they're built out of on both sides, and you're just heading through the locks, and there's not picturesque things to see sometimes. So both ocean and river have amazing, stunning views. I would say variety of views overall, definitely you're going to see more on river cruises. Ocean cruises are mostly just the water and, port, where you get into ports, with the exception of Alaska. Alaska ocean cruises are, they obviously offer a lot more variety in terms of like glaciers or wildlife or things like that on the days that you are cruising closer to land on the Alaska cruise. So that is number 3. So number 4, it kind of goes along with, I guess, the views or where they stop, but it's port accessibility and excursions. So ocean cruises often have to dock in these large ports, and they're not, of course, right in the middle of town because it's wherever the large port is outside of town. And so they require additional transportation to reach the city centers. So obviously that's a given. It's not going to be right in the middle of town, right there where you are docking. Often ocean cruises do not dock right on the beach either, because they've got to be in deep enough water to be able to allow the ship to get there. So a beach is not even going to be like right as you get off of the ocean cruise. River cruises can dock in smaller ports. They can dock in city centers so that you can just get off the cruise ship, and sometimes you can just walk to where you're going. Sometimes it also is transportation, just like with the ocean cruise. So it just kind of depends on where you are and where you're going. With both, you can get off the ship and not do any excursions at all. You can just explore on your own. Ocean cruises have a variety of excursions, like tons of different excursions, and they are all an add-on to your price. So your basic cruise rate is never going to include the excursions. You're always going to add those on, just depending on whatever you want to do. River cruises have a variety of excursions. Depending on the cruise line, some of them are included. Some river cruises, they work just the same as an ocean cruise, that none of them are included. Some have one excursion included per port. Some have one excursion included per day. Some have all the excursions included, every single thing that you're doing the entire time is included. So it's really a wide range with river cruises. You can't really say like it's always like this. It just depends on the different cruise lines. With ocean cruises, you get a view of the beach very easily. And most times with most ocean cruises, there are beaches around. With river cruises, you see mostly towns and landscapes and scenery along the rivers. Some river cruises have bikes that you can take out and use anytime to explore the area. So that's kind of a fun thing as well. So the ports are a big difference between river and ocean, of course, as you can tell. All right, number 5, onboard amenities. These are also a lot of difference between the different ocean versus river. Ocean cruises tend to have a lot more onboard facilities. Obviously, they're bigger. And so they have a lot more space and they really are going for that wow factor of all of the things there are to do on board. So on an ocean cruise, there are multiple restaurants, there are pools, there are theaters, there are so many entertainment options, and they're just getting bigger and better all the time, like I talked about earlier. River cruises tend to have fewer of those exciting types of onboard activities. Of course, a river cruise is not going to have a water slide. A river cruise, just isn't going to have all of the big, huge activity draws that the ocean cruises have. River cruises have usually a couple of restaurants, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. They'll have a jacuzzi or a hot tub often. Sometimes they have a pool. And then for the entertainment, they have like a lounge that you sit around in. It's really a smaller venue for entertainment. And of course, ocean cruises have these big theaters and stuff. Some river cruises have a fitness center and a spa. But all ocean cruises have a fitness center and a spa. So just, that would just be something to ask about if that's important to you on a river cruise. With ocean cruises, some of them really cater to families and kids. They have these amazing kids programs and all kinds of things for families and kids to do. River cruises, it's more hit and miss. A few don't allow children at all. They're just a no kid type of cruise line. There are some that do allow kids. Usually they say 8 and up ish is about the norm for river cruises. There are some river cruises that cater to families and kids, but none of them have like the big kids programs and babysitting and those types of things. River cruises do not cater to families in the same way that ocean cruises do. So if you have a young family and you're wanting a vacation for them, a river cruise may or may not be a good fit for you. It would depend. So depend on your kids, depend on the type of experience that you want them to have. So onboard amenities are very different on river versus ocean. Okay, number 6, let's talk about itinerary and flexibility. Both ocean and river have great itineraries. That is the point of a cruise, is getting you to places that you would not very easily go to ordinarily. So amazing, fantastic itineraries. One big difference is ocean cruises have days at sea, and they want to give you time to do the things that are available on board. If there's water slides, some of them have racetracks, some of them have ropes courses, some of them they have all different kinds of things. So they want you to explore what is on the ship. And so they purposely give days at sea so that you can do that. River cruises do not do days at sea at all. They are known for stopping at more than one port per day so that you can enjoy the countryside and the areas where you're stopping to the fullest. So you just have like busy days, not with, all of the onboard activities, but you have busy days with getting to explore the destinations that you're stopping in. Both river and ocean allow you to be flexible on how you spend your time on shore. So you can be with a group, you can do those group excursions and all of those great things with the guides and the groups and all of the things like that, or you can just explore independently And so in that difference, there's really no difference as far as you can decide whether to do an excursion or to not do them. So, okay, number 7, activities. We've already kind of touched on this, but I just wanted to give it its own category. Ocean cruises offer a wide range of activities. They have water sports, they have fitness centers, they have casinos, they have Broadway type shows in big, huge theaters. They have all of these things. And river cruises focus more on the experience of being in the locations. So their entertainment is more like local artists coming in and performing. They have local foods, they have local experiences. And so it's just a whole different type of experience. Hopefully I'm kind of painting a little bit of a picture for you so that you can get an idea of what the differences are. All right, number 8, sea conditions. This is a big, big difference as well. Ocean cruises can obviously sometimes be affected by rough seas and motion sickness. So if you have a tendency for motion sickness, then you need to make sure that you take stuff with you and are prepared for that. River cruises, because they are just on rivers, on inland waterways, they're way more smooth and they're way more stable. So you do not have to worry about seasickness. You don't have to worry about rough waters or anything like that ever. Just my own personal experience, I tend to get super motion sick. And so I always have to bring stuff with me on my ocean cruises, or else I will be sick the whole entire time. I just am very susceptible to that. And so for me, I really enjoy the idea of being on a river cruise, and I enjoy that experience of not having to worry about, feeling seasick or having that motion sickness going on. That's just me. But I know a lot of people aren't even affected by motion sickness anyway. My husband being one of them, he is not affected by the motion. So to him, it makes no difference at all. All right, that was number 8. And here is number 9, cabin sizes and types. Now, this is an area that is not super duper different between ocean and river. They both have cabins that range in size and type. So they have different varieties of cabins. Ocean cruises have 3 main types. They have inside cabins, which have no windows. Like they're just on the inside of the ship, so they don't have any outside windows. They have ocean view, which has a picture window about the size of a picture on the wall. And then they have balconies. So inside, ocean view, and balconies, those are the 3 main types. They have different varieties all within those types, but those are the 3 types. River cruise cabins usually have 2, sometimes you could count it as 3. They do not have any inside cabins. So all river cruise cabins have a view. Some of them have a window, so just a window. Some of them are what we call a French balcony, and a French balcony is not a step-out balcony. It's just a sliding door that opens up, and then there's a railing right there, just right outside the sliding door. So you don't step out onto a balcony, but you just open the sliding door, and you've got, your wide open door right there that you can look out. And usually there's chairs, that are set up right there inside the room that you can sit on and enjoy the views from there. That's called a French balcony. And then the 3rd type is a balcony. It's like a regular balcony, like the ocean cruises. So those are the main types on the river cruises. Both ocean and river have lots of different sizes. Both have suites, both have small cabins, both have large cabins. From what I have seen, and I have seen a lot of both ocean and river cruise cabins, the ocean cruise cabins tend to be a little bit smaller overall, the smallest ones. So both the inside and the ocean views on the ocean are smaller than the river cabins. So that is just my experience overall. All right. And number 10, let's talk about value. I could call it price, but I would rather call it value because we're not exactly talking apples to apples. So ocean cruises usually have a lower upfront cost. That is true. If you are just looking for the least expensive way to take a cruise, then you would not be looking at a river cruise, just any cruise in general. You would not be looking at a river cruise mostly, because an ocean cruise, because it's a bigger crowd and everything, they can lower their prices a lot more. And so they have a lower upfront cost to do an ocean cruise. Now, river cruises have a higher upfront cost, but there's a trade-off here. It's not apples to apples at all, because the ocean cruise inclusions, they include some onboard activities. They include eating at the buffet. They include eating at the main dining room. And then plus there's usually one or two other locations, like maybe a pizzeria or maybe burgers or something like that. Ocean cruise inclusions do not include eating at all of the restaurants on board. They don't include Wi-Fi. They don't include specialty restaurant dining. So there's lots of things that ocean cruising does not necessarily include. River cruises, like I said, they do have a higher upfront cost, but they usually have more personalized experiences included because they are a smaller vessel, right? They have fine dining included. They never have any upcharges or surcharges for any dining anywhere on board. And the dining isn't always just a hurry and get you through buffet type of experience. River cruises have more local experiences. Like I said, they stop in more ports. They have more, I guess, culturally, I don't know, excursions. I don't even know, cultural excursions, I guess, available. So it's not exactly apples to apples for the value. Both of them have great value for what you are getting. You really just have to decide what you want. One is not better than the other. I am not trying to say that one is way better than the other, because I think it really depends on you and what you want and what you're looking for. So they're just a different experience. So if you'd like to find out more about river cruises versus ocean cruises, including like details regarding the service, like embarkation and disembarkation, laundry, Wi-Fi, I did talk about just a tiny bit, and the cruise personnel, like all of those types of things. There's other details that we didn't really cover here, but please let me know if you are interested in knowing more information, because there's so much more to the differences than I covered here. Although I feel like I did give you a pretty good overview of what to expect, ocean versus river. I am happy to have a conversation anytime with you. If you just want to call me or email me and just say, I just want to like dive into this more and figure this out. Even if it has nothing to do with something that you are going to plan right now, but you just kind of want more information, I would love to have that conversation. I have cruised on rivers and on oceans, so I have experience with both, and hopefully I can help guide you to which would be the best option for you. So I would love to have that talk or be able to, get you more educated on what the differences are or which one would be best. Okay, we're all pretty much wrapped up with this episode, but I did want to put in one more little plug for our River Cruise 2024. Next year, 2024, is the 80th anniversary of the landing at the beaches of Normandy in World War II. So this is going to be so cool. I want to invite you to go with me and my husband, Sean, on a French river cruise. The dates are October 19th through the 26th. And this is some of the, I guess, highlights of what we're going to be doing. We'll fly into and home from Paris. So it's a round trip flight, which is nice because it doesn't cost more to fly into one city and home from a different city. You can spend extra time in Paris or in other areas outside of Paris, either before or after the cruise. So you don't just have to fly in and out. It is a 7-day cruise. So just with that extra day flying, you'll want to plan on it's 8 days for sure with the extra flight from the US, or the flight from the US. Other highlights, the beaches of Normandy. We get to spend an entire day immersed in the history and the majesty of how sacred this amazing place is. We will also visit the birthplace of Joan of Arc. It's a little town called Rouen, and it's been around since about 1000 BC. And we get to learn all about Joan of Arc and standing up for her ideals and being burned at the stake. We also will stop at Claude Monet's gardens, spend time in these beautiful gardens and ponds with the lily pads and everything that belonged to Claude Monet. And they've been preserved and maintained, and it's just a wonderful tribute. We also, this is like amazing. We will have our very own French chef cruising with just us. She is not there to cruise with the rest of the passengers on board. We are bringing her. I am bringing her along with us. Her name is Romina Rasmussen. She is the owner of the recently closed French bakery in Salt Lake City called Les Madeleines. She is still a chef. She is just not doing it in the same way at Les Madeleines. And she will be joining us on our cruise. So we get to enjoy all of her insights on France, and she has spent a lot of time in France. We get to delve into all of these amazing culinary delights in the region and get her insights and her take on it. We'll get to have workshops and demos and tastings and go on excursions with her and just like soak up all of this goodness for our wonderful French chef, Romina, that we are going to have with us. So if this sounds like something that you might be interested in, or you just kind of want to find out more about it, please contact me. I would love to talk to you about any of the details or anything with this cruise. It is, again, the dates, October 19th through the 26th. So I love that you have been with me today. Love that we have been talking about cruises. Cruising always makes me excited. It's just really fun, a fun topic to address anytime. We will see you in 2 weeks when we do our next episode. Thanks.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, I would invite you to like, share, or leave a review. Let's help grow our wellness travel community.